has pleased us punch to come your way with another thrilling, another educative lesson on the use of idiomatic expressions. We want to say thank you for supporting us in our previous videos, for commenting, for sharing, and for subscribing to our channel. This is a platform where we learn appropriate language usage to help us to bargain when we have to compromise when we have to, and to help us put our words where our money is. So today we want to focus on idioms. What are idioms? What are idiomatic expressions? We would say that they are fixed expressions that connote a certain kind of meaning. Oftentimes, when you pick the words in an idiom to be the clue to understand an idiom, you may be misconstrued because the words themselves may not give up the meaning of the idiom, but when they are put together, it connotes a certain kind of meaning. So often we don't like to change the words in an idiom, unless, of course, to inflect for tense or to insert a name or a pronoun and all that. But today, we want to look at idioms generally. And so, if idioms were a part of our dressing, we would say that idioms are like the perfume we use or the colognes, the fragrance. It gives you that good vibe, makes you smell good and all that. If idioms were part of our cooking, we would say it's the spices that gives that flavor that makes the meal scrumptious. And so you can think of idioms as anything in the world that makes it spicy or that looks fresh, well garnished, well embellished, and all that. And so if idioms are part of your language, it doesn't make your language too ordinary or banal. It makes it elegant, it makes it exquisite, and you are always a delight to listen to. So today we want to give you 10 wonderful idioms to make you smart. 10 wonderful. And when I say wonderful, I know what I'm talking about, right? The end goal is to make you smart in the way we speak. So let's get right into this. So the first idiom that we want to talk about is misery loves company. Misery loves company. This idiom means that sometimes when people are miserable, they like others to be miserable too in order to feel good about themselves. As an example, let's say examination results have been released and your friend got 40% and then you got 30%, right? Even though you also failed and the person failed, because you have another person who has failed, it makes you feel a little bit okay about yourself. I don't know if you have that experience, but the idiom to describe that situation is misery loves company. So in the comment section, I would like you to give your own example of every idiom we give so that it becomes a part of your vocabulary. One way to make idioms an integral part of our vocabulary or part of the way we speak is to continue using it, right? Once you keep using it, it becomes part of your vocabulary, right? And so try to give an example of it and keep using it till it sticks. Okay, so that's our first idiom, misery loves company. We want to give an example of a sentence where you are using misery loves company. So the supporters of Manchester United feel good about themselves after hearing that Chelsea lost their match too. Right. So both teams have lost, but Manchester United fans are quite okay because another team also, their competitor also lost. Right. Okay. So let's get to the second idiom. The second, perish the thought. Perish the thought. This idiom is often said to mean that what has been suggested before, you're not saying that should happen, or you are not wishing that whatever was said before this should happen. So it's another way of saying, may God forbid, or I'm not saying that this should happen. For example, perish the thought that the king dies. What would we do? This sentence means that you are not saying the king should die, but should he die, what are we going to do? So that idiom, perish the thoughts, actually is another way of saying, may God forbid, or I'm not saying this should happen, right? So let's see your example in the comment section. Please share this video for other people to have access to it so that they can also improve upon their language. Idiom number 3, dog in a manger. Dog in a manger. This idiom refers to someone who keeps something even though they don't want the thing, but they keep it so that another person does not have it, right? They have a phone, they don't need the phone, they know another person wants the phone, but they are not ready to give it away, right? So that person is a dog in a manger. In the local parlance, we say konongo kaya, right? Konongo kaya, literally a porter from Konongo, who is not ready to carry your load, but is not also ready to let another porter carry your load, right? And so this person is just stuck with you and then not making other people have the opportunity to have access to your goods or your luggage as well, right? So the idiom is a dog in a manger. I know you can give an example with dog in a manger, so let's see that in the comment section. So as an example, uh, Ransford knew he had no future with Helen, but like a dog in a manger, he kept leading her on. Right. So in this case, Ransford knows that there is no future with Helen, but to leave her for another person to come in, no. So he kept leading her on. So that's an elegant way of putting it. A dog in a manger. Idiom number 4, meet your Waterloo. Meet your Waterloo. If someone meets their Waterloo, it means they meet an opponent who finally defeats them, or a problem which is stronger than them, or a person who is stronger than them. And so, for example, as a team, they can beat almost every team in the league, but they get to one team that defeats them. And so we can say that that final team that defeated them is their Waterloo. So the etymology of this idiom is dated to the 1815 battle outside the town of Bergen, Waterloo, where Napoleon Bonaparte and his army were defeated by the forces commanded by Duke Wellington. And so from that time, every difficult situation which empowers somebody is referred to as meet your Waterloo. In the local parlance in Ghana, we call it meet your meter. Today you've met your meter, meaning you've met somebody who is stronger than you or who is able to overpower you, right? So that's the idiom, meet your Waterloo. We would like to see your example in the comment section. But from us here, we would say at Isadel College, after beating every school in the science and maths quiz, finally met their Waterloo in the grand finale, right? So they beat all the schools, and then when they got to the finale, they were beaten by, say, a school like Asante Maintini High School or Prempeh College, right? Okay, so idiom number 5, different strokes for different people. Different strokes for different people. This means that everyone has their own taste and habits, their own preferences, right? So, whereas one person would prefer a phone, another person would prefer a laptop, right? Another person may prefer the day, another person would also prefer the night, right? So, different strokes for different people. In the local parlance, we often say that one man's meat is another man's poison. One man's meat is another man's poison. Or we also say, Obi akonodiani odompunsuno. There are people who think that the entrails of a pig is a delicacy, right? But we also say different strokes for idiom number 6, caught in the crossfire. Caught in the crossfire. So if someone is caught in the crossfire, it means they become involved in an unpleasant situation when two people are arguing and they don't want to be part of it, or they don't want to indicate whom they agree with, but they become a part of it. And sometimes they take the innuendos and then the aspersions and the stray bullets, right? And so uh, in the local proverb, we often say when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass which feels the brunt of these two giants colliding, right? And so, as an example, if a teacher and a parent are arguing, oftentimes teachers get caught in the crossfire because teachers usually do not want to meddle in these conversations, but sometimes through the arguments of these two people, they take stray bullets or they get caught in the crossfire, right? So that's the meaning of that idiom. Use it so that it becomes part of your vocabulary to make the way you speak elegant, to improve upon your proficiency and fluency in the language, right? So that's idiom number 6, caught in the crossfire. Idiom number 7, between the devil and the deep blue sea. Between the devil and the deep blue sea. What comes to mind? Right? Two worst things put together, and then you getting caught between these two worst choices. Between the devil and the deep blue sea means that to be caught in a dilemma where you have to make a choice between two unfavorable, two undesirable, two unpleasant options, right? So you have to make a choice. The synonymous idiom is between the rock and the hard place. Between the rock and the hard place. These are two hard substances, right? But you have to choose in between one. So, for example, the offenders were asked to choose between being deported and being jailed. Being deported and being jailed. So, these are two unfavorable options for them to choose. But if you are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, you are supposed to choose one of two unfavorable situations, right? So, if it were you, what would you choose? Would you like to be deported or would you like to be jailed, right? That's just an example for an academic purpose. I know you won't get into that kind of situation. All right. Idiom number 8. Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. So this is one of the often abused and misused idioms in the English language, right? So what do you think it means? Let's see it in the comment section. So this idiom means that the person who says it means that I don't know. It doesn't mean that the person thinks he or she shares the same idea with you or the person has a common knowledge with you. No. The person means that I don't know. And often it comes after a rhetorical question is asked. For example, when will our country be rid of corruption? Your guess is as good as mine. It means that I don't know. It doesn't mean that we have the same thought or we have the same knowledge about the answer, right? It only means that I don't know, right? So let's see your example with the idiom your guess is as good as mine in the comment section. Idiom number 9, shy of something. Shy of something. As a caveat, this shy of something doesn't mean that you're literally shy of seeing somebody or you have stage fright or something. That's not the kind of shy that we are talking about here. This shy actually means that you are lacking in something or you need an addition to make a number complete something or to have less than a particular amount or a particular number. For example, if a child is 10 months old, we would say that the child is 2 months shy of a year. So the child only lacks just 2 months to become 1 year old, right? And so the child is shy of 2 months to become a year. So if it's a 10th anniversary and you have just 2 years to get to that point, you could say that the couple is 2 months or 2 years shy of their 10th anniversary. So shy of something means that you lack something, you need a certain number or a certain amount to get to a certain number. So let's see your example in the comment section. If today is the first time you are coming on our page, this is Speak English with Eric. Here we talk about everything about the language, about how to improve upon your fluency, about the subject verb agreement, about every important aspect of the language that will make you fluent, that will make you proficient. And because our language is our bargaining power, we always seek to make it skilled so that we are never shortchanged when it comes to being opinionated, being open, being straightforward in the way we speak. Right. So let's get to idiom number 10. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance cannot be said to be a good thing, right? But sometimes, if you don't have knowledge about something, it saves you from being worried or being hurt or being stressed and all that. As an example, so if you read literature or any material on when you are supposed to eat, how many times you are supposed to take a nap in a day, or how many hours you are supposed to sleep, the kind of food to eat, whether to eat fat or whether not to eat fat, whether when you read all these things, don't you get worried? You do. And so if you hadn't read it, it would have saved you from the stress and all the anxiety from that kind of consciousness, right? So in that situation, we can say ignorance is bliss. What you do not know, you do not worry about it, right? And so that's our 10th idiom. I hope it is something that you will be able to use. So let's see your example in the comment section. We've come to the end of this video. We hope that you really like them. We want you to keep using them so that it becomes part of your vocabulary. Your language is always your bargaining power, so make it skilled. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. It is Speak English with Eric. Here we learn appropriate language usage. So we'll come your way with another lesson. It's bye for now. Take care.